Here's a video for the TRN ST5. It's a single dynamic driver. It's got 4 balanced armatures. It is about $50, which is pretty cool. It has a fit that is pretty good for me using SpinFit CP100s, the large with the yellow core. These fit me fine. I don't have any issues. They don't fall out. They're a little bit heavy, not bad. The cable is noteworthy because at $50 you get the changeable termination. It's on 3.5 because I always go off the ADI 2 DAC, but it comes with the 2.5 and the 4.4, so if you're using DAP or other stuff and you want to use your 4.4, comes with it. In the $50 range, that's pretty cool. Taking a look at the frequency graph, we have a bass over mids that switches at the gain, so it pretty much, we'd call that bleed or bloat. It doesn't actually sound, I have things that I like and don't like about this set, and interestingly enough, that bass tuning is not really going to be the problem. The gain is fine. It's not too abrupt and it's not too extended. It's not giving any shout with vocals. The treble is done fairly decent. There's extra energy at 8 kilohertz. Playing with the depth insertion on the mic and also switching from foam to silicone, it always seems to be there, so it is part of the mic, I suppose, but it's also actually energy there, so be aware of that. And it's got energy that runs all the way off. Now let me go ahead and turn this up and we'll talk about some music. The beryllium driver, or the driver itself, seems to be of decent quality. You can't tell that one Big Boy killed you because we're just listening to bass, and the bass hammers. It hammers a lot harder than that frequency graph would indicate, which is cool. If you're a bass head or you like V-shaped sets, this might be a set that you like. It's definitely got substantial energy in the low end. Again, more than that graph would indicate. The next chick is Black Sabbath Master Reality. There's a bassist and a drummer that are going on at the same time, and it's very easy for lower quality drivers to sound like they're slow. Now, they're not slow because 55 hertz is an extension, a retraction, and a return to the original position 55 times in a single second equals 55 hertz. A hertz is a 3-step movement. That can, to the ear, sometimes sound slow, though, woolly, because of the quality of the driver. This driver doesn't suffer from that. It doesn't sound like it's a low quality driver at all. Perceiving, or this ability to perceive the drummer over the bassist or vice versa, is pretty good considering its tuning, and it's got a fun replay. Ozzy Osbourne did step out a little bit, and I noted him, and this was a very good indication of what was to come. I had listened to this set previously when I first unboxed it, sent a note to the seller. I said, I think these might sell a few, actually. This is pretty good. And then you sit down and you start to listen to your tracks, and things get real, or they get different anyway, sometimes. Ozzy Osbourne's vocals were notable here, and if you've watched my videos for a long time, you know that's not why I'm here. I'm here for the bass, so that's kind of an indication of what's to come. Next check is Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits. Every reviewer has tracks that they use. They use it, I suppose, like myself, because you're super familiar with it. This is a track that if I didn't know what the graph on this looked like, and I just listened to Sultans of Swing, I would be able to roughly tell you about how the mid-bass is tuned. Is it bloated and significant? Is it tight, like Variations or Monarch first generation? I could hear that easily because of the way that the bassist is presented. He's either kind of back and just part of the mix, or he's forward, and that's directly related to the amount of energy that is in the mid bass. I didn't have any issue with this, but it was notable that the bassist was very much present, so I would know just by listening this has got enough mid bass, maybe too much. I thought listening to this, it didn't sound like too much, but he definitely sounded like he was very much pinning down the track and very much with Mark Knopfler and his iconic vocals and guitar. Not in the way, but very much there. So in the low end, I don't think that we're having any problem. When I start to get to vocals and I'm listening to stuff like Fleetwood Mac, because I've got four vocalists, I've also got Lindsey Buckingham, who's an amazingly underrated guitarist, fantastic. The Wilson sisters, a lot of acoustics here, 2 female vocals. This sounded energetic, but not bad. It's not a reference like a dry type of mid replay, but it's actually not bad like the graph would indicate. Again, if I looked at just the graph and I thought, what would be the problem with this set for myself and others, I would think that the way that bass is tuned. In listening, That's not what happened. The bass seemed fine. When I start listening to stuff like Jimi Hendrix, who's right down here, stuff got a little bit different. Listening to All Along the Watchtower, multiple solos, there's 3, maybe 4, depending on who you listen to, this track right here. Distortion pedals, a lot of energy, intense. Coda, the cymbal strikes on Hey Hey What Can I Do, they're repeated again and again and again and again and again. You can hear these done well, these strikes. You can hear these sound like they're muted by the drummer, but they're not supposed to be because they're not muted actually. So you can hear the tuning in the upper mid to treble region depending on how cymbals sound, especially if you're familiar with that. It's not your preference, it's how it's supposed to sound. This sounded energetic, very energetic actually. And then I went to, and this is where I'm going to give it the criticism. This is Vivaldi. I just did a video with using headphones, Concerto No. 1 in E major. Dun, 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 dun. A lot of strings, a lot of energy, a lot of harmonics coming off of the strings. I noted that it was quite energetic for my ear. I listened to this last night several times, just because I do that with every single track. So it's not unusual for me to listen to one track repeatedly because I'm just trying to get a feel for it, nail down exactly what I think and how I feel about it. After I put these down, I go downstairs to eat dinner. While I'm eating dinner, my ears are slightly ringing. I got a ringing effect in my ear, and I haven't heard that in a long time, and I think that was related to this track right here. It went away later. I feel fine now, but the problem that this reviewer has with this set is that I hate when people point at something and say, oh, that's a problem, or, well, what are you talking about? I'm telling you that Concerto No. 1 in E major, Vivaldi, the Masterworks CD, also cymbals on Hey Hey What Can I Do sound quite energetic, and if you're sensitive to something like that, it might be a problem. On top of that, it's being done by balanced armatures, and this reviewer's opinion, I would take ESTs and dynamic drivers tuned well in the treble over BAs anytime I could. There's a reason that this person here, me, has never ever done a hybrid collaboration. It's of course come along, I've just never done it because I don't like the sound of balanced armatures in the treble. That would be my ding on this set. $50, if you're okay and you're not sensitive like I am apparently, you can change the cable, it's a decent cable. Build quality is good, it's not tuned bad, it's obviously energetic in the bass. Might be something for you. I find the energy in the treble to be just a little bit too much, in particular with guitars with distortion pedals. Cymbal strikes sound unnatural, and strings. Vivaldi, an orchestral piece, wow, that left my ears ringing. So this is, in my opinion, not a kingpin in the $50 range for me and my library. Wait for other reviews and what other people think, and they will give you their feedback based on their library. Rock and roll and classic on this, no. And I'm out.